there's so much information out there on like optimal nutrition and how to make the most of food and all of these things that it creates a lot of confusion and a lot of complication around nutrition. And this is why I want to encourage you to just go back to the basics and let it be simple and let it be easy. I think when it comes to health and weight loss, you know, it is a science and it's an art. Love her or hate her, Jillian Michaels definitely knows a thing or two about weight loss. And I was recently watching an interview where Jillian was chatting about her main takeaways from being the trainer on The Biggest Loser for over 10 years, where she helps hundreds of people lose weight. And what I thought was so interesting was that she was basically explaining that of all of these dietary theories and all of these different approaches, nothing helped her learn more than hands-on working with these people to move them forward on their weight loss journey. And she was boiling down what her takeaways were, what she found actually worked versus what didn't. And when I listened to this video, all I wanted to do was come chat with you all about it, because I really liked how she was simplifying all of the information that is out there. Okay, so number one, I'm going to link to that interview down in the description box below. So if you want to watch it, the whole chat is about an hour. You could check out the whole thing. But for the sake of this video, here is what she boiled it down to. She said, when it came to food, no matter what nutritional approach she took, the name of the game was to be within a caloric deficit, to create a caloric deficit, to make sure that you were taking in less than you were burning on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. And what I thought was so interesting is she said that she had tried all different dietary approaches. She did high carb, low carb, ketogenic, primal, counting macros, you name it. And she said it didn't matter so much which approach they took, so long as they were in a caloric deficit. Now, why do I like this? I like it because, again, it simplifies what it takes, right, for the body to begin to lose weight, right? We have to, no matter what, take in less than we're burning. And we have to find a way to do that in a livable, sustainable way, okay? So one of the tips that she gave to her clients was that she would set their caloric deficit. She encouraged them to prioritize protein and fat and fiber, not because they're magic nutrients or anything of that nature, but because they help with satiety levels, right? They help you to feel more satiated, more satisfied after eating. Fiber helps us to feel more full after a meal, which is why we will often hear people talk about protein, fat, and fiber, okay? It's not that they're good or bad or magical. It's just that they help you feel more satisfied. And when you are putting yourself in a caloric deficit, feeling satisfied is a very important part of the equation. So she would set their caloric range, and then she would tell them that they could eat an abundance of green vegetables throughout the day, right? If they were hungry, they could eat some green vegetables, whatever they wanted, as much as they wanted, right? They were getting micronutrients, they were getting fiber, and it helped them feel like they could still eat if they wanted something, and it also helped them to feel full, right? So from a nutritional standpoint, I thought that was all really interesting. What I found the most interesting was how she tried all of these different nutritional approaches and found that it didn't really matter at the end of the day, so long as they were in a caloric deficit. So what is the takeaway for you and I? You have to play around with food to find what works for you. Don't try to follow the perfect diet. Don't try to find the perfect plan. Don't think that it has to look specifically any which way that this book or that approach tells you. Find what you enjoy, find what keeps you satisfied and keeps you in the caloric range that supports your personal weight loss goals, right? It can be that simple from a scientific standpoint. The second thing she spoke about when it came to exercise, she mentioned a couple of things. She said, number one, she did think that strength training was important, but that she would cap it at no more than 4 hours a week, because once you got past 4 hours a week, it became a game of like diminishing returns, that it could create more stress in the body would release more cortisol, the body would need to be recovering from these workouts, and it could be more resistant to letting go of weight. She said the same thing about HIIT training, high intensity interval training. She mentioned no more than 2 to 3 10-minute sessions a week if you're doing it at all. The point here is you don't need to kill yourself with exercise. As a matter of fact, if you are killing yourself with exercise, you could be kind of, creating a wash for yourself, right? So strength training being important, but not overdoing it. Doing HIIT training, if desired, can be helpful, but not overdoing it. And then when it came to movement, she really emphasized the power of zone 2 cardio, which for the sake of you and I simply means moving more throughout the day. So things like walking, gardening, biking, whatever it is that keeps you moving throughout the day, right? The more low impact, easy movement you can do, the better, right? Because A, it helps us to expend energy, and B, it doesn't create a lot of stress in the body, right? So it's a really great tool, specifically when weight loss is a goal, because it really helps put you into that caloric deficit without stressing the body. Plus, I think it's a great way to release stress and to clear your mind, especially if you're getting outside and doing walks, things of that nature. So I thought that was really interesting. The other two things she touched on was staying hydrated, of course, and getting enough sleep, stress management. But why I wanted to chat with you all about this is because when it comes to the science of weight loss, right, it doesn't need to be hard. You don't have to get super caught up in the nuances of what I'm going to call optimal nutrition. I actually did a video on Clean and Delicious, my other channel, a few weeks back called How to Simplify Healthy Eating in 3 Steps. I will link that for you below, because it really helps to simplify the way you approach food, which I think for so many people is the name of the game, because there's so much information out there on optimal nutrition and how to make the most of food and all of these things that it creates a lot of confusion and a lot of complication around nutrition. And this is why I want to encourage you to just go back to the basics and let it be simple and let it be easy. I think when it comes to health and weight loss, it is a science and it's an art. When you're clear on the science, right? You want to focus on real whole foods. You want to create an energy deficit. Perhaps you want to prioritize protein and fats and fibers, and you're clear. You just let that become a practice. You don't need to keep jumping around. You don't need to keep looking for the magic formula. You just have to practice getting better at that. That is that. You can just give yourself a deep breath, a sense of ease, and let go of the confusion about it. And then, of course, it's the art where a lot of us have more work to do, right? It's when I know the tools that can help move me forward, what stops me from applying those tools? What are the bigger, deeper obstacles, right? For many of us, this is the real work to do, right? These are the mental and the emotional obstacles that can often create a desire for us to eat food when we're not necessarily hungry. So I don't care what you know about nutrition. If you know it and you can't apply it, then you have to be willing to look under the hood, right? You have to be willing to do the deeper work in order to move yourself forward. So all of this to say, I found Jillian Michaels' chat to be really interesting. I'm curious what you think about these simple takeaways. If you have any thoughts, opinions, questions, come down to the comment section below and please do share. And also remember, if you are somebody who knows that you have to work on the art of your weight loss goals, of your health goals, I do have a free 3-part mind, body, weight loss series that will give you 3 jumpstart tools to help move you in that direction, right? It helps to simplify this process, helps you approach these goals with a little bit more clarity and a little bit more ease. So you can check that out. I will leave a link for you down in the description box below. Okay, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week with a brand new video. Cheers.